Today, we have a 3v3 on Kathari Ruins, a map made by none other than Injured himself, I believe. Our first player is Fritz, playing as the Techmarine, ranged DPS Space Marine hero, who can also support vehicles well. His first teammate is Scummy, playing as the Plague Champion, sort of a Swiss army knife of a hero, ranged DPS, can be melee, can repair, can also heal. And finally, on the blue team, who we can't see yet, is ggdg, playing as the Orc Mekboy. Almost forgot that one. Teleporting ranged hero who can also repair. Their opponents, we're going to start off with Laughing Man, playing as another Plague Champion. Next up, we've got Piano. Piano is playing as a Lictor Alpha, an infiltrating melee assassin hero. And finally, we've got Stealth, playing as the Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting ranged DPS hero. Alright, first 3v3 since we've come back, and already I'm hearing about Battle Brothers were falling down. We do have the Heretics doom blasting these Tactical Marines, but that's definitely going to be a dead Heretic squad. Typically, I mean, a dead Heretic squad that early on is actually not that big of a deal, because that squad never actually had to pay for any reinforcements, so it's not actually that big of a loss. But I think the red team, nevertheless, is starting off very strong. You know, between that kill on the Heretics, we also have a power node that is definitely going to go down with this approach here from the triple Hormagaunts in addition to that Lictor Alpha. But we do have a full, actually not full, but 2 power generators on this power farm right here. And the red team also going to start off, well, they actually don't have a VP lead right now, but I expect them to get a double cast soon. Double cap, my god. And Howling Banshee squad nearly goes down there, down to 1 model, going to have to pay a lot in reinforcement costs, while the Slugger Boy squad does indeed go down there. Looks like they had won that engagement, but there was support, and things are now looking pretty strong, I feel, for the red team. They're starting to get a significant VP lead. We have a power node going back up, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down again very soon. Lictor Alpha there, undetected, is able to tie up the grenade launcher Heretics, and those grenade launcher Heretics are not going to be able to last in there much longer unless we get a lot of focus fire on this Lictor Alpha. Right now the Lictor Alpha is actually commanding so much attention because he needed to have 3 or 4 units focusing him down just to get out of there. And the Warp Spider Exarch can delay things just a little bit longer, but eventually he will need to go too. And oh, he's choosing not even to retreat. Instead, he just teleports behind some more cover, some yellow cover. At this point, he probably will need to retreat, though, since teleport is probably back on cooldown. And I'm not sure off the top of my head if he has the energy or the mana for another energy. I've been playing too many other games. The energy for another teleport. So the red team maintaining that rather strong victory point lead right now. Rangers are now going to come out from stealth. Rangers are a sniper unit, and the way they, even back to when I was still playing, they changed in a way so that they were a little less annoying, where they fire more frequently but do a little bit less damage than they used to. But we are finally going to see the blue team start to take this bottom victory point back in their favor, but they've got a lot of ground to make back up. Over a 150-point VP lead in favor of the red team. Shooter Boy is just going to focus down those spore mines before they're able to accomplish much. We do have that stun and no suppression on the Howling Banshees on the way in. We do have the big shooter upgrade, but it looks like the Howling Banshees are going to go down anyway. Wow, they actually made it into melee, but then they just took too much damage on their way in there, and they actually got wiped. Plague Champion will be forced to retreat, has upgraded to the Blight Grenades. Haven't seen a use of that yet, and I feel like the Plague Champion could go down here. Nope, not with that support from the healing aura of the Nurgle Heretic Worship. And the Raveners are going to be forced off as well. So I think for the first time in a while, the blue team might be able to get a double cap. They're not going to move in for the double cap. Oh, no, wait, they do have the double cap. They do have the top. Power Bash going to be attempted by Laughing Man on this contested power farm. But I feel like the angles coming in from, I was going to say the angles coming in from Fritz, they look good to me, but he decided to retreat the Tactical Marine squad. I think, well, more so than the angles is that he just didn't really have enough manpower. Meanwhile, down here, we are going to see a rather significant generator bash by the Heretics, by the Chaos Space Marines and the Orcs together, Orcs are going to need to retreat before they lose entire squads, trying to finish off this one generator, but he could risk losing a squad because of it, and at that point he realizes with the Raveners burrowing in, he had to retreat, otherwise there was a pretty good chance that he would have lost one of those squads. Meanwhile, the Lictor's just going to solo bash right here. Don't think he's been able to get a full generator. Attempted... Oh, it actually did finish off the squad. Again, with that flesh hook. And we do see an upgrade for that Lictor with the Toxic Miasma. Or is it Miasma? That's not even I don't remember. That's actually just I don't know how to actually say that word. But this is a weapon that increases his offensive power. He does reduce the speed and damage of enemy units that he attacks, and deals damage over time in addition to the straight-up melee damage that it deals. Warp Spider Exarch here, I imagine he's going to get the decap, but he's going to lose so much health that he might die. That's actually really, really close. Because that even with that teleport out, I was worried that the damage over time from the Plague Champion's Bolter could have finished him off. I almost wonder if things like that are not really worth it. I mean, yes, you got the double cap, but that does mean the Warp Spider Exarch is off the field for a while, has to heal up quite a bit, and it will be a while before he'll actually be able to help with an engagement. Dire Avengers are going to get this contested requisition point, and ideally they would want to back off before taking any significant losses. They do manage to take one more model loss there, and they are ultimately just going to have to retreat. Dual Rangers starting to put in the hurt on these shooter boys, but nice play by suppressing. I need to check the aiming what's that. I was going to confuse that with Love Dadaka. But they use aiming what's that to suppress one of the ranger squads. Then the other shooter boy squad started to put in some DPS, scared one of the ranger squads off, but here is the support. Here is also the burrow in. No retreat yet from the shooter boys. I thought he was going to retreat a little bit faster because, again, once those Raveners burrow in, you know they're going to be coming up. They're probably targeting the shooter boys, and they are going to knock them down if they don't retreat. So these Raveners we've got two of the Raveners, and they are bashing these generators, but it looks like they're going to start taking an engagement somewhere else, burrowing in and knocking down a squad of Chaos Space Marines. We're going to see a Blight Grenade go in. Blight Grenade goes in, does not hit anything. So instead, these Raveners just going to micro away from that, continue their generator bash. Hormagaun's going to have to leave, but I think we're going to see at least this generator go down. I feel like he could, turn again, at least finish off the generators. A little bit of an unnecessary retreat there, but I think he was just worried about getting knocked down by the Weird Boy, possibly even been hit by the Warp Vomit, and then follow-up from the Shooter Boys as well as the Mekboy could have led to model losses on those Raveners, but it still seems like a bit of a waste where these Raveners nearly at full health, one of them even actually at full health, just retreating all the way off the field. So triple cap in favor of the red team. Blue team going to come out here to start to get one of those VPs back. So we're seeing the VPs move back quite in forth where we've got triple caps both ways. And VP pressure has been strong by both teams at different times in this game. Warp Spider Exarch now in a little bit of trouble. Does have the improved targeters to give him increased weapon range, but it's not going to save him from going down right there. Those improved targeters increased weapon range as well as improved damage, just to really improve his harassment ability, where he can just hang back a little bit further and do more damage in the process. Weird Boy actually in a bit of trouble, has been knocked down twice. I'm actually really worried for him even with this retreat. This is really close. Perhaps the Raveners can burrow in. Not going to attempt it. I was wondering if they could burrow in, possibly get some melee on the Weird Boy. They burrow in, but I think that one's a little bit late. So we've got a new power farm right here, but we're definitely going to see a continue of the power generator bash we saw before. Node goes down first, and then we're targeting the generators. Meanwhile, up here, we do have a Chaos Dreadnought out for Scummy. So Scummy with a Plague Champion as well as a Heretic Squad. Shouldn't have any trouble supporting this Chaos Dreadnought, but top is going to go back in favor of the blue team. So Laughing Man, it does seem that he is frequently the victim of being doubled. So he claims. As well as some really powerful generator bashes happening down in the bottom. Lictor Alpha will finish this generator. Actually, it was really the Raveners who got the last hit there. This double Ravener build's proving to be pretty oppressive. Aside from I mean, it's for two reasons that I guess I'll just explain, which is, of course, they're burrowing in, disrupting range units. Most of the range units that they are burrowing in against, they will win in melee, for example, the Shooter Boys. But at the same time, they're also putting out quite a bit of melee range DPS as well. Are we going to see this Mekboy go down? Flesh Hook. I don't think the Flesh Hook would kill, but I mean, he could try it. Meanwhile, I think the blue team player right here, this is mostly Scummy. He's about to get kind of pincered. He's being flanked by the Raveners. Raveners, I don't think they're even... Yeah, they're not... I was about to say, are you just going to walk right into that? Meanwhile, a Falcon out from stealth, but it's being chased by the Chaos Dreadnought. Chaos Dreadnought actually decides to back off. I feel like there's a possibility that he could have chased a little bit more. Meanwhile, is this... No, this is just a Space Marine Dreadnought. But this Space Marine Dreadnought now has to worry about the anti-vehicle damage coming from the Plague Fist from Laughing Man's Plague Champion, as well as the Venom Brood. So I think this Dreadnought's going to go down, even though we did have the global repair ability from Fritz to attempt to keep it alive a little bit longer, but I think it came in too late. And I also feel his target selection could have been better. You know, at that point, the Dreadnought knows it's outnumbered and is being threatened quite a bit. I think it should have targeted the Venom Brood and would have scared those off pretty quickly. And then after targeting the Venom Brood, should have gone after the Plague Champion. Since even though the Plague Champion does have that heavy melee Plague Fist, I'm pretty sure the Dreadnought actually wins quite handily in a head-to-head against the Plague Champion. Since heavy melee weapons, they don't actually do full damage to vehicles. They actually only do half damage to vehicles. Raveners are going to burrow in. Ideally, they're doing range damage. I feel like that more ideally they want to tie up. So yeah, there is that force melee on the Raveners. I guess you actually have to do it since they're by default a ranged unit. And I think this Shooter Boy squad should go down if they are focused properly. Looks like the range DPS is there to finish off that Shooter Boy squad. So Dreadnought from Scummy still working out quite nicely, but oh dear. Here is the double Khorne Chaos Space Marines, and he knows he needs to get out of there, because even though these are just an infantry unit, they will actually rip apart this Chaos Dreadnought, and I'm pretty sure this Chaos Dreadnought is absolutely dead. The Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines from Scummy, eventually they will be approached by the Khorne Chaos Space Marines. Okay. We got the Techmarine has upgraded to Bionics, giving him the powerful sweep ability, disruptive melee ability, but it's proving to not be enough. And Khorne Chaos Space Marines, although very much a niche purchase, we are seeing the value that they can get right here with how oppressive they can be, the damage they put out, how tanky they are, but they are just going to step on that grenade right there. Didn't have the reaction and didn't see that attempt in the point-blank grenade by Fritz. So the blue team, with very few units at this point, they've suffered a lot of losses, but Fritz and Scummy have quite a few resources left stored in the bank, so they can make some good purchases. We're actually just going to see Fritz go to Tier 3, which I'm a little surprised about. Scummy, on the other hand, hasn't made a decision yet about what he's going to do, but no matter what they choose to buy, at some point the blue team needs to get on the victory points, because now the victory points are rather strongly in the red team's favor. 309 down to just 64. Falcon's coming in. Falcon right now is not seriously threatened. The biggest threat to it are these Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, but their damage to the Falcon is definitely pretty light. And in the time that I have left Dawn of War, there has been a slight change to one of my favorite units, the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines. The aspiring champion, now instead of getting an Inferno Bolter, gets a Plasma Gun. And I would say that this is a buff to the Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, because that Plasma Gun has a higher base DPS than the Inferno Bolters, and plasma damage does more damage to... Definitely more damage to super heavy infantry armor, and I'm pretty sure more damage to heavy infantry armor than Inferno damage does. Although it does do less damage to regular infantry armor. So luckily, there are a lot of details that I still remember, as much as some things are a little fuzzy. The blue team will take this victory point. Don't know what was going on with the Rangers right there, but I think there's more going on around here with something dropping. Is that a Venerable dreadnought? Yes, it is. Of course, the Venerable dreadnought, exclusively available to the Techmarine, has more health than a regular dreadnought. Does have a charge ability. I was wondering what we were seeing do there. Was that ranged damage? Anyway, we do have a Venom Brood putting in some damage against the Dreadnought, but it won't be enough. Dark Age of Technology is coming in. That upgrade, I'm pretty sure, off the top of my head, eventually it will tell me, but I believe it gives the Dreadnought an extra 300 hit points. Grenade goes in, and we're going to see stuns on the Scouts, but the Venerable Dreadnought is actually in a huge amount of trouble. It is being swarmed by now. Is that triple Khorne Chaos Space Marines? That is crazy. I mean, the thing about upgrading Chaos Space Marine squads is that as much as upgraded Chaos Space Marine squads are very, very powerful, they are also very, very expensive to fully upgrade. So it's hard to justify getting, honestly, even more than one. Like in team games, we do pretty regularly see double Chaos Space Marines, but oftentimes, like in a 1v1 game, it's pretty rare to see a full upgrade on 2 Chaos Space Marine squads. Mekboy, meanwhile, is going to use the Mega Rumble ability, and that's going to scare off the Khorne Chaos Space Marines. I feel like that's the perfect answer to those triple Chaos Space Marines. Triple Khorne Chaos Space Marines, no less. Some knobs going to come out from ggdg, but they are not going to be able to stay in much longer. Blue team, oh wow, we have no cap. This is a no cap game. I think the Plague Champion going to start this cap because they know that this one's about to go back in favor of the red team. And the blue team cannot afford to give up much more in terms of VPs. And this is actually getting kind of close here because this Plague Champion, even if he does get this, I'm not sure how long he'll be able to keep it, but we do see Chaos Terminators drop down for Scummy. Scummy, having lost his Dreadnought a while ago, doesn't even have a Heretic squad, so another vehicle would be a little bit difficult for him to support without a squad of Heretics, although he does have the Plague Champion, so I'm tripping there. We see a Warp Vomit come out from the Weird Boy, and I was about to say, did it hit anything? But I believe it actually did catch the Raveners, but they might have actually even retreated before it even hit them. So new units are starting to come out before I can even keep up with it. Carnifex now out for Piano. Barb Strangler Carnifex, but I feel like this Barb Strangler Carnifex is in a lot of trouble. I think what it mostly just wants to do is finish off the Venerable Dreadnought, and the Falcon wanted to do it too, and they don't. 22 hit points with that extra 300 hit points, but he needs to keep microing it to keep it away from the Falcon, and this could actually be the Falcon be seriously threatened. Blessing of the Omnissiah, I remembered it, from the Techmarine, gonna keep the Venerable Dreadnought alive with repairs, those are two different words, and the Falcon is just going to go down from stealth. So, double cap for the blue team, and they're going to hold on to this for a little bit. The action has slowed down quite a bit. The red team is going to hold top. A squad of Tactical Marines with a Plasma Gun at level 3 are going to be in retreat because they, even with the Sergeant, they just can't deal with these Chaos Space Marines in melee. So Fritz, very interesting choice. He's actually getting a regular Dreadnought in addition to the Venerable, which is going to be a little bit difficult to keep up with in repairs with just the Techmarine. Especially I don't think he has enough red for another cast of Blessing of the Omnissiah. So Fritz's next purchase after this should definitely be a Scout Squad, and he'll probably just want to upgrade that Scout Squad to make it strong enough to survive and actually be relevant in combat as well, although the Scout's primary purpose will definitely just be supporting the Dreadnoughts with repairs. Knobs going to run over these Raveners. I think this Ravener squad is going to go down. Nope, just kidding, because the other model is over here. But it hasn't retreated yet, so it might go down anyway, but instead the Knobs decide to prioritize capping, or they're going after the other Ravener squad. And what is the retreat? I don't think that retreat there was necessary, and I can't say words. I mean, I guess they were outnumbered, but they still could have put a lot of threat on these Raveners, taken some models, forced one off. Warp Spider Exarch goes down in retreat. No, that's not the Warp Spider Exarch, that's the Mekboy. My excuse is that you can't actually see him unless you get really close. Okay, so double cap for the red team, 104 to 34. Decap on the top VP. Oh my god. So red team looking like they're getting really, really close to taking this game. But let's see if these double dreadnoughts from Fritz can say anything about it. Oh, but here's the rocks. So that shrine is gone. Other than the shrine, I think that it might have actually taken one unit here, but most of the rocks had mostly been dodged. So down to 7 VPs for the blue team, but they managed to even it out, 1-to-1 cap with only 6 VPs left. Nob squad is in here, but they have been stopped by the crippling poison from the Termagants. Mormagants are in trouble as well, having been stunned by the Weird Boy, and a plasma grenade going to go in. And these orcs are actually in a lot of trouble right now. Here's the Mekboy with that Mega Rumbler again. And does he start? There he goes. He starts knocking down the Lictor Alpha. But what we're seeing is that the Mega Rumbler doesn't do a whole lot of damage by itself. And it actually looks like it's affecting. Okay, but here... Why are the knobs retreating again? Like, those knobs absolutely should not have retreated there. Anyway, Lictor Alpha has some interesting ore gear upgrades. Adrenal glands, which is just pure stats, health regeneration, energy, and energy regeneration. Menacing Visage, which is always an interesting ability to say, giving him the ability to actually force a unit to retreat. Fire Prism now out for stealth. Fire Prisms are tough to deal with. I always feel like Fire Prism has been a great unit. And VPs now are coming down to the wire, but the double dreadnoughts, I think, are going to make it difficult for anything to cap. These double dreadnoughts also tearing apart. The double dreadnoughts, they're starting to take damage from other sources, but I think they really just need to focus on killing all of these Corncast Space Marines. And for Laughing Man, I think he was laughing early on when his Corncast Space Marines were just overrunning the infantry of Fritz. But I think Fritz is the one who's getting the last laughs here, because these Corncast Space Marines, just having 3 of them, they just can't do much about the Dreadnoughts. The Dreadnoughts are just going to pound them into the ground. Carnifex also going to go down for Piano from those knobs, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, ggdg did have 2 of those knob squads. He's going to knock down his own knobs to try to get them even closer to the Fire Prism, and I think this Fire Prism is now almost done. Desperation cap attempt by the Raveners here is not going to succeed. One more Desperation cap attempt from, I think it was the Warp Spider Exarch, who also goes down, and that's actually going to be the game in favor of the blue team. Crazy back and forth. We are going to see an Imperial Abyss, mostly for fun, but that's not even going to stop them from winning the game. Or stop them from losing the game, whatever I mean, you know. So, rather short for a 3v3 game, but I feel it was short and sweet. A lot happened in that time, and as we see, it did end up with a rather close result. So, hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night.